He's a weird one, right? Because, okay, so, out the gate, right? Let's talk about, Percy has really good buttons, right? Well, I will say, this is a really good button. This is an amazing far M, right? His other buttons are pretty good. His far L's, like, pretty nice, for sure, right? Though it's a little smaller than I thought it was, right? But very nice, very active, right? 2M, very nice, very active. Not huge, but very nice, very active, right? Very good 6XM, right? And, like, the far H is very big, right? But this button is not as great as you might think. It's very big, right? Which is very nice, obviously. But it's very slow and it's got a lot of recovery to it. Like, this is a balanced button, I would say, right? But his far M is amazing. Like, this is straight up one of the best far M's in the entire video game. The only thing you can really hold against this is that it's always 9 frames. So, you know, even like over here where you might wish it was a little bit faster, right? It's 9 frames. But this button is 9 startup frames, which is not great, but it's, you know, like 5 active frames, 16 or 15 recovery frames or something like that. Very, 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 very nice button for what Percy wants to do. But his buttons are, I feel like maybe it's insane. I feel like I would call Percy's buttons good, though, not great. Now, you might be like, well, why does that matter? We're talking about a character who might, you know, a character I've seen some people, even last patch, you know, put as like a top 2, top 1, top 3 character, right? We're gonna have to start nitpicking to see if that's real, right? It's a very different thing when I talk about UL, and I'm like, oh, you know, good girl, UL, you have a 9-frame far M that had multi-hit, oh, good job, right? If we're talking about, like, if we're really evaluating whether or not a character might be, like, genuinely best in the game contention, right, we have to be more nitpicky, right? And on that, I feel like this button's amazing. I feel like a lot of these buttons are only, like, good otherwise. This is a good 2M, this is a good far L, you know. This is, like, a good 2U, for sure. A good, you know, a good 2L. Well, his 2L's a little slow, but it's a low, right? His far H is, like, fine, right? So I feel like his buttons are good, with one amazing button, right? This button being genuinely, like, pretty amazing, right? Obviously, the elephant in the room, this thing, right? This thing is just as good as it's ever been. Like, yes, you can't just do this anymore because you can get Brave countered and it'll be hard knockdown Brave counter. That's going to get rid of the carpet and stuff like that. But like 99% of the time, use this thing from out here, even before it got nerfed anyway. This, the only time I actually felt like, oh shit, this nerf feels like it's actually really annoying is when I was fighting Vasaraga. Because you don't really want to be out here against Vasaraga. You want to pressure Vasaraga to his face. So the fact that I would have to like do this and then like run in on him felt weird. Everywhere else, I mean, hell, the fact that you can Brave counter this now means every now and then, if you get tricky with the range, if you're like kind of right outside of where it can be Brave countered, right? You can like Brave counter bait people with this in a way that you couldn't before, right? So I think Flame Carpet is maybe exactly as strong as it's always been. And the move is still amazing, right? Like, this is just, this gives Percival, like, there's one thing that Percival is undeniably the best in the game at, and it is, like, just this, like, this sort of Grand Blue Zone pressure, right? Because the whole point, the logical extreme, if I take another character here, I talked about this before, right? But if I take Catalina, the logical extreme of why Grand Blue Zone pressure even matters, right? Is because, like, you're like, well, you know, why do I care if I'm blocking Cat Far M or Cat Far H or something like that? It's not doing anything to me, right? The point of this is, like, say, you know, she does some shit like that, right? You know, like, if you're just sitting there and doing nothing into it from a range where their buttons can hit and your buttons can't, right? You're just gonna lose eventually, right? Like, if you want to take this to its logical extreme, if you're just like, well, I'm just gonna down back because Catalina's not doing anything to me, you're just going to lose, right? You know, the risk reward in this situation is in her favor, but you have to do something because you will just die otherwise, right? Very slowly to chip over time, but you're just gonna lose, right? Because her buttons work from a range that your buttons don't, right? And you can do this into that, she's safe. And again, if she's still, like, she's far away enough, even if you try something, she can still try and kill you for it, right? Now, the thing about Percy, though, is that this is extremely obvious, right? Percival is, like, you don't have to extrapolate this to a very long logical extreme, right? One Flame Carpet, and it's immediately like, all right, what are we doing? You know, what's up? What's up, man? You want to sit there forever? Okay, he's building meter. Okay, cool. What's up, man? What's up? You gonna do something? What's up, man? You want to do something? Feel free, please. Oh, you're just gonna sit there? You're gonna block? Okay, cool. What's up, man? What's going on? How you doing? Right? And again, it's a very synergistic thing with his kit that I talked about, where he's got these very high active frame moves, which are very good as stop signs, right? And he gets pretty good conversions, especially off of counter hits, right? So, Flame Carpet is like the premier you have to do something now button, against one of, not the, but one of the premier, you don't want to do anything against this guy when he's over here and you're over here, right? So it's an incredibly synergistic corner gameplay, and Percival has some of the scariest corner offense in the game, right? Difference in Cat is just how easily she can put you in the corner. Yeah. But like, I'm using her as a point of comparison for the one thing I will say that I do think Percival is better than Catalina at, right? Is that he, like, when he gets here, this win condition is a much stronger kind of Grand Blue Zone win condition than basically any other character in the video game has, right? So let's not, this is not a Percy downplaying thing. Percival's very strong, and if anything, I'm of the mind that he maybe is better this patch than he was last patch, right? Also, Taupe Singh, right? Thank you for the follow. But it's just more of, again, we're talking about best character in the game, potentially, or like top 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, wherever you want to put it. We're gonna have to start nitpicking shit, right? And as far as nitpicking on Percy, he really needs these stocks, right? Let's talk about the stocks. The things that are both really good and really bad about Percy, right? He has this, like, little resource management minigame that is very important for him, right? Why does this matter? Without stocks, Percival his mid-screen is not particularly exciting, right? Especially off, like, a button like this or something. This doesn't link anymore, right? So, like, he needs to do shit like this, which is, on the bright sides, this is a very nice buff they gave him in the Versuja patch, because now he does this, and at least he can get stocks right away, right? And then he has 3 stocks to work with, which is a pretty decent amount of stocks, right? But his mid-screen is just bad without stocks. I don't even know, can you do auto combo into this? Yes, you can. Okay, you can at least do auto combo into that without stocks, right? But even that's not great auto combo mid-screen, right? His mid-screen's not great. It's pretty bad, actually, without stocks, right? His fireballs are not super inspiring without stocks either, because his EX fireball straight up doesn't go full screen if you don't have the stocks, right? His corner combos are also pretty uninspiring without stock. We can do stuff like that to get back into stock, right? And it's a save jab, so it's nice Oki. But, like, this is, this is very bad damage. And also, without stock, he's forced, it's a good point, Fade, it's something that I ran into a lot. He's forced to use this cooldown, and this command dash is very important for Percival, right? This command dash is very important for Percival. For all of the things we're going to talk about that are good with stock, this command dash is everything for everything we're going to talk about, except for the fireballs, basically, right? So, Percival is not very good without stock. Now, again, without stock, he can still, even without stock, he can still do shit like this. Even if you get hit out here without stock, he's still, like, it's still, like, not... It's still, like, decent, and he gets you right back into the carpet, but even the reward off of this, like, flame carpet pressure, not as good without stock, right? With that in mind, with stock, things start changing a lot, right? Percy's, like, off of far M, this is a lot of damage, right? Now, granted, again, you have to be good at your one-button hit confirms to play Percival. But, I mean, that's okay. That's, like, a skill that good players can have, right? That's not something I'm going to hold against them. But, like, this, most characters are not doing this much damage off of a far M. And you know what? They did give Percy a buff. I want to bring this up on screen. Now, because that uses your very important cooldown as well, right? That uses your very important cooldown as well. But they did give Percy a buff that I didn't really care about until I started playing him. And I think it's actually quite a nice buff. And it's, well, this, yes, right? The clean hits, easier to land, is good consistency. But this thing, right? I was like, why would I care about the M version of the gun? M Lord Strike into Zarayasin is this, right? Why do I care? Because, again, this also, the speed is the same, right? So this works too. And you get to save that cooldown, right? And that's less damage, certainly. But honestly, 3,400 damage, not resources because it needs a stock, but like no cooldown, no meter, no nothing off of a very good far M. That's still very nice, right? Like this is still a very like this is like a very, very nice buff. Oh, really stupid. Give me 1 second. I promise I got this character to master a second ago. There you go, right? That's very nice damage considering it's off a far M, and it uses no cooldown at all, and he gets to save it, right? This would have been 2,900 last patch. So that's a big difference, right? The 500 extra damage there makes it a lot less shitty, right? And it's true, yes, it also sends them all the way to the corner, right? Percy can't even try, he can get his stock back and be relatively safe immediately as well, or he can do some shit like this, and he's -8, but like literally no one is gonna do anything to him off of that. So that's nice, right? That is a nice buff to Percival that I think does actually matter quite a lot, because this command dash, it features heavily in, like, you know, one of Percival's main strengths, aka his, like, 1-button hit confirmed damage, right? And if you want to cash out on the big shit, right, you can do stuff like this, which is amazing. 4,400 off of far M is like crazy good, right? It features heavily in his anti-air combos as well, right? Like, you get the best anti-air stuff if you have a stock up as well, right? Like, you can do non-stockless anti-airs, but again, his anti-airs get even better if you have stock up, right? Even on non-counter hit shit like that, that's insane, right? It's very, very good. It features heavily in his pressure as well, right? Trying to do, like, you know, any kind of, like, command dash into this guy, take your turn back, steal back a turn, right? Or, like, the low, try and catch someone off guard and get some corner carry, right? Or, again, confirming into the heavy. It features heavily in your pressure. It features heavily in, like, every Percival combo that my dumbass can find, at least. You're either gonna do some shit like this into whatever it is you're doing, or, again, is you're going to do some shit even like this into, once again, the command dash, right? So this thing is just everywhere, right? You probably have within in stock there, right? Yeah, it can even be a neutral skip if you want, right? You can even try and use this as like a neutral skip. This command dash is everything for Percy, right? So, the fact that you have to kind of spend it here, right? The first hit Percy gets, let me turn the fast cooldowns off, right? But the fact that you kind of have to spend it here on whatever first hits you get most of the time if you want to, like, guarantee you get a stock safely, means that, you know, for the next little bit here, for like 8 seconds, you don't have that. That's not a huge deal. But again, we got a nitpick. We got a nitpick if we're talking about, you know, best character in the game type shit, right? And yes, it's true. The stocks also very useful for fireballs. The medium one gets bigger and it knocks down on regular hits, and the EX one now actually goes full screen, and again knocks down on hits, and you can get really good conversions off that thing too, right? Again, in the corner, for example, doing shit like this into like 2H into that is enabled by the medium, right? So the stocks are. His stocks are very good. Right? You have to spend it unless you get counter hit 6XL into 2U, 2H. That's fair. That's fair. I didn't know about that. That's nice. Right? And it's not like it's that hard to find that, right? That's certainly nice. But yeah, the stocks are and Percival's very good with the stocks, right? Again, like, we talked about his corner damage earlier, right? This is, to be fair, this uses a lot of cooldowns, but, like, and quite a few stocks. Like, even this, into a save jab setup, and it's stock neutral, that was 6,000 damage into save jab. That's a really good corner BMB off of a close end, right? Like, Percival is quite exceptional once he starts getting the stocks. So, this is certainly worth doing this resource management minigame. It's not like it's like, oh, well, you know, I have to do all this, like, balancing of the stocks, and it's not even worth it. No, right? Percival's very strong with the stocks up. Certain, right? Which is why, again, part of this is just like, I'm not going to hold this whole stock thing against him too much, I think. Because part of it is just, you know, you have to find your windows, right? You have to figure out how to play Percival. There's a certain way you have to go about things, right? But part of it is true that this is like a balancing factor to the character, right? There's a very good reason he's not allowed to do this kind of shit without the stocks, right? And he can, it's not really like a Jamie from SF6 situation, if you know what I'm talking about, where, like, he often does not have to, if he's already in a good situation, he does not have to choose between Oki and stocks, right? He can, like, he can do a combo like this, right? And I can end it getting stocks, all the stocks I spent back and more, and a save jab, right? Or a command grab set, right? So he doesn't have to choose. He doesn't have to choose most of the time. Sometimes, though, like, we just, even, like, off of this, right? You might want to, like, run up in 6XL, right? You could do that. Like, even off, like, this basic thing. You might want to run up 6XL and keep your pressure going. But a lot of the time, Percy is going to do something like, you know, like, if he does this, he's going to do some shit like this, right? And he gets the stocks, but he gives up his Oki, right? So it's not an always thing. Jamie's is a permanent buff, so it makes sense. Well, yeah, but it's that's, like, the biggest problem with a lot of, like, these kind of characters sometimes, having to make that choice occasionally, right? Every now and then, Percy is going to have to give up a potential Oki opportunity to get those stocks, depending, right? It is this is a 41 frame animation, right? So it's not super commonly that you're going to find the opportunity to get that and also keep your shit going, unless you're already basically in this, like, corner situation and winning more, right? Which is still good. That's good. Very good that he doesn't have to do anything about it in the corner. In the corner, he gets to have his cake and eat it too. So, like, overall, I'm not really sure where I stand on the stocks. I think it's the kind of thing where, like, certainly it makes him harder to play. I do feel like it is also, like, it makes him feel a little inconsistent sometimes, right? It makes him feel like, it's constraining, right? It's constraining is almost what I want to say. Like, you have to play, it's so important to him that you have to play around it, And it means that sometimes you want to do something else, but you kind of have to like either pull back, like you have to pull back to try and get stocks, or you have to give up some Oki to get stocks or something like that, right? It's constraining. Yes, what he does with the stocks is very good, but it's also not like, it's except like insane outside of like probably like this, outside of spending this, like this I would consider exceptional, right? That's exceptional. Like it's not like it's genuinely like absurd crazy, like, you know, Jita can do, like that's 6,000 damage that he's doing on his BMB, like Jita can do that off a close cell, you know what I mean? Now, granted, Jita gets good corner damage, don't let people trick you, right? Like Jita's damage is very good in the corner. But like, it's not like he's seeing like breaking never before seen boundaries if he's got stock up, right? And without stock up, he feels pretty not good, right? So, I don't know. It feels like a mild negative to me. What's next after Psychoanalysis? Beatrix. We're going to play some Beatrix. Wow. 5U only gives combo in the corner. We'll talk about 5U as well. 5U, I think, is overall a strength for Percy. I think 5U is quite nice, right? It's just, it's constraining, is how I think it. Self-imposed disciplined playstyle fits the character. Oh, for sure. Absolutely. It's a very cool gameplay loop, I think. But I think overall, you know, I don't know, man. I mean, I guess the sort of waning specter of all my discussion of Percival is in the back of my head. I keep comparing him to this lady. And while Flame Carpet is something that Catalina just can't do, I feel like she just doesn't have to worry about a lot of this shit as much. You know what I mean? Like, I know she's not going to get nearly as good of, like a mid-screen confirm as he is, right? Her mid-screen, like, meterless is not going to be good. Or, not, yeah, meterless and, like, I guess resourceless as well, right? She's not going to be getting, like, 4,400 off of FRM, certainly. I don't think so, anyway, right? I mean, oh, well, hold on. That's on counter hit, to be fair, though, right? If she can just do shit like that? No, okay, but you're not getting anything off of that. Yeah. Right? But yeah, like, she is very much, like, not really competing with stocked up Percival as far as, like, this. Again, it's hard to call it resourceless damage just because we are, you know, spending cooldown, spending stock, stuff like that. But, I don't know. She also does have this, which I feel like probably more than makes up for it, personally, right? I don't know. I don't know. And again, if she does, like, find an actual, like, up-close hit, then she is actually basically doing something quite similar to what he's doing even with stock without it, right? So, in the back of my head, the only thing with Percival, basically, is I'm trying to compare him as, like, you know, is he the best Shoto in the game or something like that. I am, like, there's a character here, there's a bitch here who does this shit and doesn't need the stocks in a lot of ways, right? But again, this is exceptional. Don't let anyone steer you awry here, right? This, like, nobody is doing this much off a far M. Let's call it, you know, resourceless, even though it takes the one stock, right? That's, like, a truly exceptional thing that Percy can do, and it makes him very good at that defensive playstyle. You'll remember, when we played Zoe, I kind of complained about how Zoe feels like, right? Zoe feels like she needs, she wants to play this defensive playstyle, but she doesn't get good reward off of it. So it feels very unrewarding to do that. Percy does not have this problem, right? Percy does, like, this is really nice that he can do this, right? Even this, I mean, you saw, even Catalina was not doing that, right? Cat's not doing that either, unless she gets, like, a very specific hit, right? He gets this on, like, regular hit, too. It doesn't even need to be counter hit, right? So even this is pretty damn good, and this is, like, almost truly resourceless. Right? Yeah, very high anti-air damage as well, right? I'm not at all trying to say that Percy's bad, but the stocks, he's very good, right? He's very good. But yeah, higher highs, lower lows, that's a good way to put it, Pally. And it's just, yeah, it's a little bit more inconsistent, right? And I feel like, you know, I gotta nitpick that just a little bit. Right? Like, he feels not so great without the stocks, and he feels pretty damn good with the stocks. But now, we talked about stocks enough, right? He's got this command grab as well. This is really good, right? I got into a long discussion with a Percival player yesterday about whether or not this is a good command grab. That is semantics at the end of the day, right? This is still a command grab, right? And the point of it is the fact that he has a command grab, like, it just makes his corner pressure significantly scarier. And there are certain situations, right? There are certain situations where Percy can actually hit you pretty hard off of this as well, depending on how many stocks he had when that command grab landed. It's relatively situational. Play Sora's got him to master. I did play Sora. Sora's my second character to master. He's very fun. Also, if you're saying that you got him to master, congrats. Sora's is very, very fun. So yeah, this command grab is also a very nice thing for Percy to have, I think. It's a little, the command grab is good only mixed with save jabs, yes, yeah, but again, he has, you know, relatively, this is probably not even the combo you would do, but he's got relatively easy access to that, right? That's a save jab or a command grab setup kind of thing. This does get overshadowed a little bit by just how good his Grand Blue Zone pressure is. That's, you know, a lot of the times he doesn't want to necessarily sit there and use that command grab. But it is still another option that he has on Oki, right? On offense, that just because Flame Carpet is the best move in the world, right, doesn't mean that this isn't still good, right? It is still very nice. It means that Percy, you know, he's got very, like, maybe the best Grand Blue Zone in the entire game, and he's still got pretty good up-close bullshit too, right? Because of the fact that he's always got the threat of this. Right now, it's a little slow. It's a little slow. So again, you really do need to get some sort of setup off of this, right? Otherwise, you're probably going to get fuzzy mashed out of this very, very often. But it's still good, right? This is a very good 5U overall. 5U is a tame move, in my opinion. I disagree. I don't think it's like, oh my god, Percival 5U is breaking the game again. But any command grab is always crazy, right? Any command grab is always crazy. And again, it always loses unless set up. Yeah, but again, you know, it is still, first off, it doesn't always lose unless set up. Yes, it's easy to fuzzy mash. Let's not get too crazy, right? It's easy to fuzzy mash if you don't if you don't set it up, certainly, right? But it's still just a command grab, right? You can always just still, you know, do some shit like this and like, oh well, it's small for sure. But yeah, you can do some shit, walk up, tick throw your ass, right? It's not like it's not great unless you set it up, right? Let's not say that it literally, like, there is still always the threat of Percy. Oh, I have no stock, so I gotta do some shit like this. There is always still the threat of Percy command grabbing you, which you know, having it there is good. So I think his 5U is pretty good. I think his 5U is. I don't think it. Like, it's also. Like, I don't think that needs to like work in the mid screen. It doesn't do anything in the mid screen, very notably. I guess it leaves him in like far H Oki range, I suppose. But it doesn't really do anything in the mid screen. But just having a command grab for his corner pressure, it makes it so that he's got really, really good far away pressure and like even pretty scary up close just because of the threat of this, right? Forcing you to deal with it, whether it's like fuzzy mashing to deal with it in a way that he might be able to catch with something else or something like that, right? Very, very nice for any character to ever have a command grab, especially if they're not paying for it that heavily, right? You already do Cat to Masters? No, I did not, believe it or not. We have not done Cat to Masters yet. So, that's also very, very nice for the boy. His anti-airs are also very good, right? Which is very nice, again, for this more defensive style of character, right? Even on, like, no stocks, no counter hit, right? We can still do shit like that, which is... And I'm sure that even, like, this is probably not, like, the optimal... It's probably not the optimal Percy bullshit either, right? But, like, this is no stocks, no counter hit. We're still hitting 6k. Right? So, again, Percy's reward on playing his defensive playstyle is incredibly high a lot of the time. Again, except his, like, buttons without stock, like, stuff like this is not very good, but, you know. But, like, he gets this really good reward very often. And he can, by the way, I mean, he can use Flame Carpet kind of like how Catalina uses her Fireball too, where, like, he can do shit like this and, like, use it as a mid-screen extending tool, right? It's just, like, more so, like, one, it's not, you know, quite as good, obviously, as what Catalina's doing, but also it's just, like, he really wants that meter, right? So, because of how good it is here, there's kind of an opportunity cost that makes you not want to use it as just like a mid-screen extending option, right? But it is, again, technically, like, this is an option that Percy does have access to if he for some reason really needs to extend the mid-screen combo, right? But I guess the meter hungriness means that it's not even that he's meter hungry, it's that this is so good that it's so hard to justify doing anything else. Normally you just go for corner carry, you know? But if he needs to cash out damage in the mid-screen to kill your ass, he can cash out damage in the mid-screen to kill your ass, right? Like, if you have 5k health left, right? Even stockless Civil can do some shit like that. You can end in gun, I think, too, right? Like, do bonk, 6XL, right? Bonk, far H, and that. Like, if he needs to cash out 5k to kill you, he can. Right? He can. So he can use meter in place of stocks sometimes as well, right? He's got a little bit of flexibility there. Well. So yeah, I don't know. Overall, he is, by the way, quite sluggish as well. His walk speed is not amazing. His buttons are very good, right? But his walk speed is not very good, and his dash speed is not very good. Like, he's notably a little slower than a character like Gran Regita or something. I actually don't know what... I should know what Cat's walk speed is off the top of my head. I know I'm comparing him to Catalina a lot. These are just, like, your two... Like, the strongest Chodos in the game, right? Yeah, a little slower, right? If we look at, like, these are, like, which one of the, like, one of these two is like, everyone, like, your pet's pick for best Chodo in the game, right? So, I feel like the comparison is warranted. Where is his walk speed? I've lost it. What the fuck? What happened? Refresh? Cannot access database, real connect? Excuse me? Okay. Well, Dustloop's dead, but I promise you that, Percy's walk speed. So Cat, you see how Cat is like 107, 100 for back walk, and then 100 for dash. I think Percy is like 93, 90, and then 100, 100, right? So their dashes are the same, but his walk speed is like noticeably a little bit slower than Catalina, right? So he's got some cons to him, right? Percy has a mid walk speed. It's slow. It's a little slow, I'd say. It's not like crazy. He's not fucking Ladivaing it or Vasaraga-ing it or something out here, but it's a little bit slow. It's a little bit slow. So yeah, I don't know. What else is there to really talk about on this fella? Hello Ash, how you doing? We talked about his, stock and no stock. We talked about Flame Carpet. We talked about his command grab. We talked about his easy access safe jabs. We talked about, his DP is still pretty good. Obviously, meterless DP character, right? Very good range on this DP is one thing that I have noticed. This is a good thing, right? Like, this medium DP reaches, like, a truly absurd distance away. It's very, very funny how far away you can hit people with this thing. Of course, and same thing with the HDP. Of course, this is going to be hitting really late if you do it, right? But his DP is, like, damn near a fucking neutral tool, I swear to God, right? Like, it's a very, very nice, the M and H versions. The U version is not nearly as special, but it's still like a UDP. It's solid. It's got good range. It gives him a safe jump, right? You go from there. Yeah. I think that's mostly it, right? So Percy's very good, right? Percy, that HDP is one of the best. Yeah, his DPs are very, very nice, right? And he can even combo off of them if he has stock up in certain situations, right? So Percy's very good. The patch did just drop, and a lot of things are different, and a lot of characters are changed, right? I would probably think that Percy's actually a little bit better this patch than he was last patch, which is a crazy thing to think about, because I feel like I'm a relative Percy down player, and even I would have him somewhere, like, I think near the bottom of top tier. So the fact that he got buffed is kind of interesting. But yeah, he's got a couple of drawbacks that feel real to me. Right? He's got a couple of drawbacks that feel real to me, like real, honest to God, Papa John's weaknesses that I think make me not think of him as, like, genuinely, like, oh my God, what the fuck are they doing? Right? And this is besides him being, like, kind of hard to play, right? He's 100% better because he can do more damage and save cooldowns. Yeah, it's very odd that they buffed Percy. I think I had Percy sort of at the... I don't have, like, an actual tier list to put him on for this patch because I don't have, like, my ideas of what... the patch changed a lot of things, right? Are you not part of the B top 1 Shoto agenda? I think I would probably think it's Catalina. Beatrix is also there. I forgot about Beatrix though. Yeah, if you want to put Beatrix in that conversation, Beatrix it might be like, for my personal taste, it might be like Catalina, Beatrix, then Percival. I don't know. They'll get maybe post buffs. I don't know. I don't think it's that odd. He isn't too much played and not getting that many results. I don't really care about the results. I think the character had, like, the second best move in the entire game, and the fact that it didn't really get touched is kind of silly, right? I think, like, this move still needs a nerf. Even if Percy was a mid-tier, I'll tell you, like, if everything else about him was kind of, like, not nearly as good and this existed, this would still need a nerf, right? This thing, it is still very funny that this is still in the form that it is, and that probably means, it's, like, because Percival got touched this patch, he's probably not getting touched next patch, too, right? So, like, this is gonna be in the form that it is for at least another, like, half a year or something, which is very, very funny, right? That certainly is very funny. But Percy's pretty good, right? Percy's pretty good. Like, very good. Percy's very, very good, right? Percy is one of the best characters in the game, but he's got some clunk to him. He's got some, like, random times that shit, like, doesn't work, right? He's got, again, the stock resource game. While he is good with stocks, you kind of do have to juggle it, and it's constraining in certain cases where other characters don't have to worry about that kind of shit. He's got some real weaknesses to him, right? But he is, like, the strength that he does have, aka, shit like this, and then also shit like this, it is more than enough to make up for it and make him an incredibly strong character.